All right, I want to thank you for joining us today for our E3 series. We haven't done this for like 2 years, I think. Just before COVID hit, we actually had a couple of people come in and share once a month and kind of, give a talk and see if people were interested about it. Dan approached me. Tonight's E3 speaker is Dan Crowley. He's a life coach, counselor, something else for 40 years. Psychotherapist and resident of Jefferson County. And so he's going to be sharing with us today about the 4 Ds of success. And so I just want to encourage you to ask questions and listen and take notes and get to know Dan. So here's Dan. Go ahead, Dan.
Thank you, Gretchen. Thank you all for being here tonight. I appreciate that very much, coming out of the cold and the dark. So, I am a life coach and a counselor, and in my years of counseling, I have come up with several kinds of things to help people become better in charge of themselves and their destiny. And this is one of them. It's called the 4 Ds workshop. And the 4 Ds actually are my simulation of all the things I've read on goal setting. And to me, this makes goal setting much easier. So I thought I'd start off with just a little explanation that whether you know it or not, you've been reaching goals all your life. Usually goals set for you by other people. So when you were 2 to 3 years old, somebody set a goal that you would become potty trained, and you did. When you were 6 or 5 or 4, whatever, somebody set a goal you would start school, and you did. Somebody else set a goal that you'd be in school for 12 more years, and you did. Except me, I didn't. I dropped out in my junior year of high school and didn't go back to school until I was in my 20s, late 20s. But I went back to school, got a GED, went back to school, got a bachelor's degree, and then went on and got a master's degree in social work, and retired from the Air Force, all at the same time over 20 years. Sometimes goals take a long time to complete. If you think about it, 20 years in the service is a long time. 12 years in school is a long time. If you go longer than that, it's also a long time. Sometimes when you get married, it's a long time. Sometimes it's not. We have choices that we make. And so I looked at goal setting, and I read more books that I want to think about on goal setting, and I finally came up with the 4 Ds. And the 4 Ds can be used for goal setting, and they're very, very good. They can be used for the moment. Okay? It's very exciting to learn how to say, okay, this is an issue, a problem. Okay. I've got a problem. I don't want to wait 18 or 20 or 40 years to get it fixed. I need to fix it now. When I get to that point where I need to fix it now, I have to do some decisioning. This is my first point in the 4 Ds. I have to decide what it is I want to do in relation to the problem I'm having. Okay? So as I decision it, I want to write out my decision, because a decision not written is a dream that goes up in smoke. I didn't say that, somebody else did, I paraphrased it. But problems, we define the problem, and then we make the decision, and in the decisioning, we actually set a goal. Okay, so Gretchen asked me to speak, and I immediately set the goal on the 4 Ds, because I love the 4 Ds. And then I had to do determining. So my goal was to speak on the 4 Ds. And then I had to do decisioning. And that was, what tasks do I have to do in order to perform this decision to speak in front of you all about the 4Ds.
You mean determining, Dan?
Sorry?
Do you mean determining on the second one?
Decisioning? Oh, I did. Thank you, Will.
Sorry.
No, thank you. I forgot my glasses a while ago. Determining. I will not be determining. I'll probably not be invited back to speak. That's okay. So, I've made my decision. My goal is to speak on the 4Ds. Now I have to determine, what do I have to do to make this happen? Well, I have to make an outline. And I have to get some worksheets printed. Oh, and I have to tell you something else. You may not be able to read this. That's okay. I have to write it because this is my crutch. This is what I depend on to be able to do my work. And sometimes it messes up. But it's what I do in order to make sure that I'm doing what I need to do. So writing is my crutch. But writing so you can read it, not important. Okay. All right, so we've got the determining. I make an outline. It's here. I get some worksheets printed. It's here. I work with Gretchen to coordinate when and how. That's what we did before we got this all together. So I work with Gretchen. Get coordination done, and then come on time. So as I do this and get them all lined out here, get all the tasks lined out that I need to do and determining to get the goal done, I have to prioritize them as to what comes first. And so I prioritize them. I tend to write things down as I think of them, and then I look at them and prioritize them with numbers. So my first one is to work with Gretchen, because I need to know what I'm doing, when I'm doing it, where I'm doing it at. We could have done it in several different places, including my office, but we did. It came here. So that was the first thing. The second thing was to make my outline. So I made my outline, and then I had to go mail copies of more and get some worksheets printed. Okay. And then I had to be here on time, and actually I was here early. And Gretchen found my whiteboard for me and put it up, but we didn't find any things to write with. So Gretchen sent me back to my office to get something to write with, and here I am. So that was the last one. Get a marker. Okay, so here we are. Now we've got this much done, we've got all of this. And the next one is dedication. I have to determine, and you can put these in any order you want. These are my order. But in terms of dedication, I have to say to myself something like, well, Dan, you've committed to this. You better dedicate yourself to doing it. You better say that this is what you want to do and this is what you want to accomplish. So, oh, and by the way, if you have questions while I'm talking, please feel free to ask. The one thing I've learned about speaking like this is that when you ask the question when you're thinking about it, it often stimulates more questions, and we get more involvement and we get better learning. So we get wider input, and all of us can learn from wider input. So we dedicate ourselves to do the task. And that's tasks, plural. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay, I couldn't read it either. We get all this down, and then we come to the hard part. We come to the discipline. And as much as I tried to come up with a different word than discipline, I couldn't. And discipline is easy. Okay, when somebody else sets a goal for you and you incorporate that goal within yourself, like I'll finish high school, then when it comes time to get up, you get up. You don't think about it. When it's time to eat breakfast, you eat breakfast. Time to catch the bus, you catch the bus. Time to go to math, you go to math. Unless you skip it, like I do. Because math is not my strong suit. Discipline is easy when somebody else tells you what you have to do. Okay? Discipline is not easy when you tell yourself what to do. At least that's been my experience in the years that I've worked in this field. Okay? So discipline, my best definition of discipline is something I stole from a guy named Brian Tracy. Okay? Brian Tracy is a salesman and entrepreneur who probably now has $1 billion. Okay? He's written 120 some books. It's really very, very influential in my life. Okay? So he came up, but he's also very good that he does not say it all in his words. He will quote people that helps him. So this is a person named, I think, Eklund, who said discipline is about doing what you have to do even when you don't want to. This is a saying that I keep in my head when it comes time to discipline myself, that I don't want to. Because there are several areas of discipline that I don't want to do in building a business here in Matters. So these are the 4 Ds. They're very easy to handle and very easy to use and very easy to memorize and put them in your mind and think of them as always. So the person that will help you do that, if you have a workshop, if you have a worksheet, is my friend Mind's Eye. Okay. My friend Mind's Eye is me, and he is my superhero. He could be you too, and you can call him me. Okay. Mind's Eye is that part of our mind that looks out here, sees what's going on, brings it back in, puts a picture in our mind, runs it through our belief sets, and then triggers our feelings. Okay. So, Mind's Eye will look at this and say, okay, Dan, that's all good. Nobody can read it but you, but it's all good. Okay. And then he will judge it. It's good. Good job, Dan. You did what you're supposed to do. You did it in a good way. You are good enough to do it. You had your principle. You fulfilled the principle of being the speaker and talking about what you were going to talk about. And the behavior was good except for the writing. Okay? And then I answer back and say, well, you know, that's the way it is. And don't improve my writing. So, because I'm not disciplined enough to do what it is I want to do, even when I don't want to do it. But Mind's Eye will run this, that I didn't do it good enough, through my mind, and will tell me that, oh, you didn't do good enough. Oh, you don't feel very good. Oh, you need to do better. Okay? And I will feel bad and a little guilty that I didn't do better. So that will help me know that next time I speak, I need to be more prepared with the board and being able to write on it more legibly, taking the time to do so, and therefore I have decided to determine I've decided to learn to write better, and I will determine myself to do it by making tasks and getting it done. And then I'll dedicate myself by practicing at my whiteboard whenever I have a chance. And then I will do that even when I don't want to. And I will have fulfilled the goal that quickly. If I decide I want to drive to Medford, I will determine that before I leave, I need to fill up my tank with gas. I need to determine where I'm going to take a stop. I need to determine which highways I'm going to take, how I'm going to go there, because I have several choices. So I have to determine which one I'm going to do. Then I have to dedicate myself to drive however many miles it is there, which I think are a lot. Okay. And then I have to do it, even if I don't want to, if I made the decision. That decision I will want to do, so it will not be an easy, it will not be a hard task. But perhaps I might have to decide, oh, it's January 1st, I need to get my tax stuff ready. All year I've kind of thrown it here and there and everywhere. And so I have to decision, when am I going to do it? My experience is I'll do it on the 14th of April. And I will tear the house apart. I will look in every nook and cranny. I will try and put some kind of order to it so I can take it to the tax expert. And then I'll dedicate myself to get it to him, and then I'll let him be disciplined enough to sort it all out and do it.
And then you'll still have 4 days until it's due, because this year it's not due till the 18th.
It is?
Right, because April 15th falls on Good Friday.
Oh, wonderful. Good, I have 3 more days.
Yeah.
Yay!
No, don't. Keep it at the 14th and then you're going to be good. You'll have it in early.
But I still determined. I decided, I determined, I dedicated, just not disciplined. So we can use these steps in many different ways. So if you were, just for your own edification, do you have something that you would like to decision on?
I don't have the discipline.
You don't have the discipline for what?
I'm being lazy on that.
Of the 4 Ds, she
Oh,
doesn't have the
exercising.
discipline.
Yeah, so it's
So exercising.
What would it take to get it?
just do it.
Well, it's decisioning is, so she has to set that she's going to exercise.
But how many excuses do I make
Right.
up to not?
Or are you gonna like lift weights, or are you gonna like do CrossFit, pull tires, or are you gonna?
I run, but now since COVID and all that stuff, I make some kind of excuse. I have a treadmill, and I get on there once in a while. But I used to do, distance and stuff. And now I'm just
So
lazy.
I have to tell you that
It's bad. I used to do half marathons all the time, and now they don't have them. And
So one of your decisions is to have Davida call you every day and ask you if you've gone running.
Yep.
oh no, that gave me a guilt trip. I wouldn't answer the phone. I just pretend. Put it into voicemail.
actually guilt is one of the best motivators we have.
You just keep hitting it in the voicemail then.
If you use guilt as a motivator, you get rid of guilt. It's really easy. You have to use it as a motivator. So,
Not to feel guilt.
yeah, when you feel
Yeah,
guilt-
right.
Yeah.
Actually,
So I don't want to feel guilt, so I'm gonna go run. So when Davita calls me, I don't have to tell her I didn't run today.
Call me. I have no one to tell.
But then you're being
Guilty.
dedicated because you did it without me having to call you. And you disciplined yourself to
Is that
take
like?
that on.
Is that like when somebody else is like your goal for her? Because she's like, well, I should run, but then like you're like becoming like the person who's saying, well, you should be potty trained, you should go to school. So therefore, you are kind of like becoming the other person for you, who's putting the goal on her. Is that what's going on in that instance?
might be. Or it could be somebody asking for help from a mentor.
But then I have to make the goal to be sure I call her every day.
So we've got the problem, right? I feel guilty
And
about
then-
not exercising.
And
Is
then
that
you
the
talk to the
problem?
life coach here to make you feel motivated to call me. There you go.
Right.
And I'll just sit here and collect the money. This is the problem, right? I feel guilty about not exercising.
Sorry.
One of the things that all feelings are good for is they help us acknowledge we have a problem. If I'm angry, I have a problem with something or someone. And I can even have a problem with the universe because it ain't acting the way I think it should. So emotions really tell us we have a problem. Once we have acknowledged it, then we identify it, then the decision. I will start out again. All right, again. I will start out again by I don't know if it was running or riding the bike.
Running.
Running. I will start again by running 3 days a week instead of 4. When you start out, when you do 3 days a week,
Instead of 0.
0. But when you start with 3 days, you're going to maintain where you are. When you get comfortable with the 3 days, add another day. Now you're starting to increase what you're doing. Okay? The other thing is, when I run with 3 days, what will my consequence be?
I will feel better because I'm getting endorphins.
So consequence, we have to look at that too. What is the consequence? The consequence is I will feel better. So, will this take away this?
Absolutely.
Yes. All right. And you know that, right?
Uh-huh.
So can you commit to that?
Yeah, I just exercised just before I came here. I got on my treadmill and I haven't done it in 2 weeks. So there you
Oh,
go.
good. Okay, now, today is Thursday,
Uh-huh.
so if you do it again Saturday and Monday, you've got 3 days with the rest in between.
There you go.
What would happen if you made a schedule? And I don't mean a schedule like, a schedule of, okay, I'll run Friday, what do we say, Friday, Sunday, and Tuesday. It's that easy.
Yep.
And then you post it on your forehead, so that every time you look in the mirror,
And 3 days is good because that's what you need in order to, it's considered you didn't exercise if you're less than 3 days.
right.
So to maintain your physical fitness, you're supposed to at least do 3 days.
So I want to know, how many miles do you do, like on your treadmill?
Oh.
Is one of your goals to do a mile and a half on your treadmill 3 times a week?
Well, I do.
Shouldn't that be included in that?
That should be, but I used to do lots of miles.
Well, yeah, I know. I saw you always running.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
mine's?
I used to run marathons, I don't anymore.
Really? Well, I do half marathons because marathons you got to train for. Half marathons you really don't. You just go.
What were you going to say?
Is that mind's eye telling her that, well, I used to be able to run half marathons and now I'm like trying to run a
That's
mile?
critical parent.
That's cool, parent.
Yeah, I do like 3 miles on the treadmill.
Okay.
3 days a week.
I should be. But I did get I got a bicycle, so now one of those stationary bicycles. So now when I'm being lazy, it's easier for me to get on a bicycle and just watch TV, and it doesn't even feel like I'm exercising compared to running.
My understanding of a bicycle is that you have to ride 10 miles to
Oh, don't
equal 1 mile of
don't
running.
tell me that.
I could be wrong, because I just heard that somewhere.
That's probably true.
But that's why I've never,
That's probably true.
I never,
Because I don't-
never checked it out, because I don't want to ride bikes.
I don't cross train, and because that's another thing. I don't cross train. I just run, and you're supposed to do other exercises and all that stuff. So
You stretch.
no, I don't. I
You
never
don't stretch?
Not even when I did a full marathon. I never stretched ever, and I've never been injured. And I've been doing it for 11 years. So, no, I just cold turkey go.
Oh, good. All right.
Your couch runner.
Do you do increments?
What do you mean?
Do you start like this and then move to this?
Oh yeah, I'm not. Shoot, I have nothing against walking. Well, you're running half marathon at all. When I get tired, I walk, and then I start running again, and then when I walk and I run, and I walk and I run.
So, so I'm glad that you're doing all of that.
The goal is to get the end result is to get to the goal and get to the medal. The bling is all about the bling.
Okay, so are we helping?
Are we helping what?
Helping
Get
get
you
the bling?
motivated to do that.
Yeah, I want to do a half marathon, but they're not open yet.
Who?
The half marathons, they're not open anymore
Oh,
because
they're not.
then they
I know.
cancel it because of Kate Brown and all that. Blah.
Okay, so we can blame them for you're not running.
Exactly.
Okay, good.
No accountability at all.
And that happens sometimes. We get to a spot where we say, well, heck, they can't read what I'm writing, so I'll just quit writing. But then I won't know how to talk. That's a problem. But here would be it. Okay, I will start exercising again by running 3 days instead of 4. And when I do, I will feel better. The guilt will go away. This is the schedule I'll do. Even if I don't want to.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing with running or with any other thing that you're going to do. We have to go through this thing of starting, right? We have to go, I'd rather turn the clock off and go back to bed. Okay? Whatever. We have to, but once we get started, we will run into the joy.
How do you turn off the self-talk, the negative self-talk that gives you excuses why not to do it?
Okay, so that's a little more complicated. So you have to look at the fact that in your head, along with mind's eye, okay, is a critical parent. As well as a nurturing parent. And your nurturing parent will say, you don't have to, it's okay. You can skip today and do twice tomorrow. She's going to take care of you. When she takes care of you, critical parent is going to say, you should have got up. You should have got up and ran. You shouldn't be laying in bed. You are such a lazy person. You just need to get up and get going. What are you doing sitting around? Okay? And so there'll be this war going on between them, but it's you who makes the decision. Okay? It's you who says, I'm going to do this, which quiets critical parent. And when you say, I want to do this and I'll feel better, quiets nurturing parent. Because nurturing parent wants you to feel better. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Critical parent and nurturing parent are from Eric Berne in his theory of personality development. And he says we have a critical parent, a nurturing parent, an adult, a free child, and a little professor.
Maybe I'll just need to put a sign somewhere that says, you'll feel better if you get on the treadmill.
That would be good. That's not a bad thing.
Because, when I have a stress at work and we come home and I'm feeling down, maybe I should just have something like that, and then it'll just motivate me to, okay, let's get the endorphins, let's make all the stress go away, make you feel better.
You make a sign and you put it in, a place that you go all the time that you're
The
gonna
refrigerator.
see. The bathroom or
It's good.
on the mirror, yeah, or in your kitchen.
Or
The
the top of the
refrigerator.
treadmill, where the wall on the treadmill where
It's in a
I'm
little
assuming
cubby.
it's at a wall.
It's hidden in a little cubby away my treadmill, so you
Yeah.
can't really see it.
So that's a great decision. Who came up with it?
My critical parent, right? I don't know.
Your adult.
Oh, my adult.
Your adult said it's okay for you to remind yourself by putting up a saying that says, I'll feel better after I'm through. Or something like that. Does that make
Yeah, I
sense?
think I do need to do that.
That's a motivator, and it helps. Motivation helps. Then the other thing is approval. Nurturing parent will give you approval when you get through. Oh, you did a good job. I'm proud of you.
Did you feel
You
that?
just let it go through your head. We make use of these things that keep us down.
And by dedicating yourself, you'll not only feel better, you'll get better night's sleep, your stress will be reduced, everything like that, right? Under dedication? If she dedicates herself to do that?
Dedication. very-
She'll be ready to make new decisions.
Dedication is an
Oh, now I'm gonna run a
important
marathon again.
The decisioning, the determining are really easy. But the dedication is what's important. I will dedicate myself to do this, and I will employ self-discipline by knowing that I'll feel better after I get through.
I'll go to the library more.
Dedication and discipline are kind of coupled together.
They are.
Dedication is like deciding to do it again, and doing it is like, yeah, okay, I'm seeing that. Cool.
So all of that is good. Any other questions? Thoughts?
That feelings part's real hard, you know, because sometimes one feeling says, well, I don't really need to do this. It's fine. And then that goal is fine until your guilt or whatever starts saying, well, you should really do it. And then you're just going crazy in a circle, you know. Sometimes it's hard to figure out what you actually want, you know. Making a goal, I think, is hard because you make a goal and then the feelings part. Yeah, I think that is the hardest part. For me, anyways.
Well, you're right, it is a very hard part. When I went to work today, I had all kinds of goals set up. And to reach that goal, I had to go through the different flash drives that I have that I don't know what's on them. So I had to go and look. And when I looked at the last one, it was a series of stories that a friend of mine wrote that wanted me to read. And I've been neglecting them for months. But finally, I put that flash drive in, and it came up, and I started reading, and so I let go of all of my goals that I was going to do today. And I'd feel real bad, except that when I read these stories, they were very interesting to me. And I think the person who wrote them could get them published with a little editing. And so I asked Gretchen if I could refer my friend to her for editorial content. And she said yes, so I will do that tomorrow. And so I came away saying, yeah, you wasted your day, but you've got a good start going for somebody else. It works for me. Besides, I enjoyed the story.
That's good.
Anything
So-
else for anybody?
No?
We worked through your decision making.
I know.
You got a decision to make over there?
Oh, I don't know. No, I probably need to run too.
I guess everyone.
Yeah, we all-
Oh, no, that's not my decision. Sorry.
or eat better. The
Oh,
other
maybe,
side
yeah,
of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can walk. You can take walks. You know.
I used to run, now I walk, but I've been lax for the last couple of months. But today I walked to McDonald's to get my coffee.
Wait a
Because my
minute.
truck is broken, my car is broken, I had to
Walk
walk. So I walked to McDonald's to get my coffee, and I measured my steps, and I found out that I can walk to McDonald's and to my office, and that's 1.33 miles.
That's great.
That's good. All right. Then if I just go a little bit further, like up to Foxy's and back, that'd be almost 2 miles.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever done anything, do running where I fully run the whole time. Never. So you just do what your body wants you to do. That's how I do it.
And then I got upset again because McDonald's doors were closed this morning.
Oh.
And I didn't have a car, so I couldn't go through the drive-through. Because the last time I did that walking, they got mad at me and yelled at me I couldn't do that. So I said to myself, I'm tired of this. I'm gonna get McDonald's phone number on my phone so that when I come, I can call them and say, bring it to me.
Yeah, there you go.
And I did it. And so tomorrow, if they're locked, I'll call them.
Funny.
Yeah.
Decisioning,
Yeah.
determining, dedicating, and discipline. Because when I got to my office, the first thing I did was look up McDonald's number and put it in my phone.
Okay?
Okay, all done, everybody?
Yeah. Good. I hope this was helpful. So,
Yeah. We appreciate the library
We
hosting
do
this.
appreciate
yes,
Thank
we love to do things like this. It's just really hard to do it, especially right now. I will not be doing this in February or March, having anything, because they might be doing the High Desert Theater again.
Okay.
And so I'll be in practice every night. So, but look for us again.
play this?
Yeah, the play. So look,
You should get involved
look
with
for us
Me?
in a couple weeks, a couple months and stuff, because we'd like to have some more of these kind of things. So.
it. Okay.
And if you want to go see Dan and talk to him about any other decisions, I'm sure he has a number.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Not a card, because I don't have any cards.
What? See, put that down.
It's
Decision.
get
Maybe cards. Okay. And then we'll go from there. All right.
Okay.
So thank
Well,
you very
thank
much.
you.
Mhm.
What is that caulking or whatever?
Chalk
Oh,
contour.
chalk tour.
What, yeah.
So what it is, it's like screen print, kind of a screen thing that you put down on the surface, and then there's chalk